What happens to a house when the water drains away? 2. Wiring. Switching on electricity and gas after a flood can be very dangerous, so it's important to get services checked by an expert. Modern wiring can withstand a short period of flooding, but if a property has been flooded for more than a few hours, it will probably need rewiring, downstairs at least. My experience of flooding is that if water gets in, it never dries out completely. The plug sockets get saturated and have to be replaced, and dampness goes into the cables, says Knight. An electrician will also give junction boxes, socket outlets, light switches and ceiling connections a thorough check to ensure there is no water trapped inside them. Of course, it's not just water that can cause damage. My plug sockets had dried poo inside them, says Dono of her 2000 flooding. Raw sewage and surface water rose to about 3 foot. Her flood recovery guide also advises making sure the gas is checked out, as the meter, flues or ventilation systems might be damaged, even if appliances appear to be unaffected. When it comes to rewiring, placing sockets further up a wall can help protect a property from future flood damage. 3. Foundations. Knight says it's hard to be sure how solid a property's foundations are after flooding, as some problems may take years to materialise. You need to dig trial holes to see what problems are at footing level. There might be movements of soil swelling and contracting, he says. There can be subsidence, which causes foundations to sink and heave, which forces foundations upwards. Subsidence occurs when the ground under a building shrinks through lack of water, whereas heave occurs when the ground expands because of excess water. There is also the possibility of sinkholes, says Knight. Signs to watch out for are cracks and general movement in the building, but both can often remain undetected for some time. One property I dealt with had subsidence 5 years after a flood, another 6 years. I'd say 2 of the 12 flooded houses I've worked on have had it. So that's nearly 20%, he says. Other indicators of structural damage include buckling of walls, bulging or dislodged sections of property, and new cracks above windows or doors. 4. Floors. When a property has been flooded, floor coverings such as carpets will have to come up. Donau advises people to cut off a small piece of carpet and underlay and put them in a plastic bag to show insurers. Tiles will also have to be lifted to check whether water has seeped underneath. Laminate flooring panels are also likely to have swollen and sprung up from the floor, so will need to be removed. It's unlikely that they will be able to be relaid even once they have dried out, according to Dono. If floor joists show signs of rot, they'll also need to be replaced, treating the surrounding area to prevent spread, she says. Insulation materials that have become wet should also be removed, disposed of and replaced. For those that are concerned about whether there is moisture in their floor, the best way to test it is to use a meter, according to insurance company Aviva. It says the safe moisture level for softwoods is 18%. Thank you for listening. For more British accent training, visit www.learningbritishaccent.com.